G'day, 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 ladies and gentlemen, and all those in between. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Mine, where as a Chapter 1, Season 1 veteran, I'm going to be bringing you guys the latest and greatest tips, tricks, strategies, and more to winning not only more games, but more crowns in Fortnite Chapter 6. Right, that is right, we are back today with the crown on us. We'll be able to send it back for the 2 for 2. Right, the back-to-back crown wins. Look guys, if you guys are keen to see that, make sure you guys do hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button. And if you're going to buy something in the item shop, make sure you use creator code SurelyItsButter the next time you are there. Alright, now this is of course going to be a Dreamy domain drop here. I thought we'd spice it up, we'd try something different. Of course, this is going to be one of those POIs where we've got some little secret areas like this over here, which I think a lot of players might like and some might even love. It definitely is going to change things up in terms of, the way that this map is played, right? And I think we do have some new changes as well, guys. It's coming very, very soon. Right, I believe at the start of November, when we get the next season map, right, we're going to be getting a Simpsons season. It's a Mega Simpsons season. The entire map is rumored to be the entire Springfield map, which is pretty crazy. I'm definitely a huge fan of that. It's been many, many years since I've actually watched The Simpsons, but as a kid, it was, definitely something that was quite up my alley. I was talking about it to someone, last night, right? And I think they said, "Oh, Butter, it isn't even that funny. It isn't even that funny. Why was it always just such a huge thing like that it was?" And I feel like it's because it was all we've got, right? So similar when you guys are landing at these drop spots, when you guys get these types of places where maybe it is a little bit more straightforward like Dreamy Domain. This is what you get. It is really dependent on the general sort of way you loot up the area, right? Because there's going to be a lot less cover here, because there is going to be just a lot more opportunity for outplay potential, you want to ensure that you guys are using those visual audio cues, right? Try and dodge the shot there with the jump. Alrighty, you want to make sure you're using those visual audios to see those footsteps, to see, okay, is there a car coming up near me? Try to be mindful because there is going to be less cover here, right? And I think that's one of the things that some players might not totally enjoy about the Dreamy Domain POI, right, is gonna be the fact that, there is some of that outplay potential. So do bear in mind, guys, if you guys are coming, landing down at one of these locations, right, at one of these locations that are quite barren, at least to some extent, maybe a little bit deceptive, that's okay. Just be mindful about it. Now, of course, when we are at the Dreamy Domain, we have a few options to rotate. We've got Freaky Fields, you've got a marketplace here, you've got Gordy Gate. Alright, should be another marketplace over in Rangers Rest. So definitely a lot of places we can go. Of course, I would really like to see the Metallions come back, but I don't think we're going to get it. I think it's definitely going to be one of those things that we're probably not going to get anytime soon. But look, in the meantime, we only have 140 bullets, so you've kind of got another option, right? And that is, you either rotate, you try and get some kills, to which you can then go and grab their ammunition and use it for yourself. Or you can stay, wait a little bit longer, loot up, and see how you go, right? And I think that is also going to be a decent option for a lot of players out there. For me and my playstyle, I much more am willing to try and go for something like this where, I'm like, okay, you know what? I feel confident that we'll be able to get some kills on people. That we'll be able to head on out of here. We'll grab some extra ammunition. And yeah, a little bit undershot there, but one and the same, we will make it over. Player over to the left here. We do need to reload that shotgun, but we shouldn't need more than 3. Now there's quite a few crown players in this match. I saw it at in the battle bus there. I was like, oh my god, I think it's about 6 crown players. So we will have our work cut out for us here. So we reload our gun. We make sure that, okay, if we do get caught up in a close range situation here, we will be ready. Right, we're gonna be ready. There's the the jump pad here, which I think makes for landing at Demon's Domain actually a decent sort of option at the moment. You're going to have this OXR crate. Of course, we have been trying a few different landing strategies, guys, in the past for this season, right? Like, we have been trying to land here, and we've actually gotten some really good, wins and play potential just from doing this drop spot. So, a lot of potential. Of course, you'll have the guaranteed legendary chest as well. We'll get very, very lucky there with the Sentinel. Some shots to the left over to yonder. We'll have to make a decision, right? Whether we jump over there or whether we try and jump somewhere else and see if we can't grab a car. Alright, the car is really what I'm after here. We need the mobility. We need that sort of rotatability. And unless we can find it, I feel like we might be stuck in between a rock and a relatively hard place. Alright, but guys, as always, if you guys are enjoying this episode so far, make sure you guys do hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button. Alright, I see the player down there, a little bit next to the thorn there. So I'm going to go back, we'll wind back around to this jump pad, and we'll go for the redeploy. Alright, now we do have an option here. We could probably just, maybe even use this mounted. There's a nice little rock here, and God willing, I'm checking immediately our flank on this low ground. This is a very attackable area for us. Right, we have that high ground advantage. They have the low ground disadvantage, right? So a little bit awkward there. That could have gone pretty south, actually, to be fair. He will be dropping the purple Sentinel, and there's going to be the last call, making a very tidy appearance here, at least as an opportunity for us. You know, this is going to be something, guys, if you go into that phone booth, you'll be able to have that ability to get that last call, and potentially, if you choose, have some very decent mobility for the rest of the game. So, really, really nice for mobility. I'm a huge fan of it personally. Alright, but we will make our way over towards maybe even the vault now. You know, and I see that being asked in the comment section all the time, right? But where do we go? Like, what do we do and when do we do it, right? And this is all about, it all comes down to anyway, sort of understanding the flow of the game. So you guys might have seen when we were dropping down, sort of to that Demon's or Dreamy domain location now, we actually marked out a car here, right? That is what I was doing. I was looking for cars, and as soon as I saw one, I said, okay, let's mark it. We'll make a bit of a mental image of where that is, just in case we need to mark something else. You know, and this way, once we do finish looting up, we can just rotate around to that as well. Sometimes you might forget, you know, sometimes you won't. It is going to be a luck of the draw. But in the times that you won't forget, you know, and you do sort of maintain, you know, that trajectory in terms of, okay, this is the strategy I want to go for. You know, this is the type of loot run that I'm aiming for here. That's great. That's fantastic. You're going to notice a huge, you know, increase of your general play potential, right? Simply because you're sticking to a plan. You know, and I think sticking to a plan, at least in this season, potentially in all seasons of Fortnite, has always been something that, you know, has served a lot of players well, right? It's been able to give players more wins, more kills, and it's just something to sort of really lean into, right? So create a plan, of course. Right now, I wanted to stop there, but I thought, let's go for the rock. You know, this is some really decent potential here. Because you're going to have this form of cover. You're going to have this form of cover which you can run around, jump around, catch people off guard. You know, it's going to be able to offer you outplay potential. And outplay potential is just so vital, right? This is a crucial way to really get ahead in the game. To be able to not go down so easily in future games. You know, it's a way of, if you get into the practice of it anyway, just becoming a better player in general. So I definitely recommend leaning into outplay potential. Right, if you see an area, you know, if I want to go for a guy here, this might be good to go for. We've got a high ground. It's actually probably not the greatest example. There's someone behind us though. But I go for the rock here, right? I immediately park behind this rock. Why? Because if you're the player up here, I'm just going to show you something real quick. If you're the player up here, ooh, chainsaw player coming up behind us. It's harder to see us, right? It's harder to see us there. Now this car is quite low. I go for this rock again. Outplay potential. I go for right shoulder. Where did he go? He gets shot up from the other mountain over there. The G-Wagon. We're actually going to not go for this just because we've got a bad third party potential here. We've got two players who both have higher ground over us. One of them's got a car that looks to be quite, you know, fully healed there. And our car is not looking too flash. Yeah, this is a car that I reckon with less than half a magazine of an OXR would probably go down quite easily and, dare I say, explosively. which is going to take a lot of damage, right? We do not want to be taking damage here. So what do? We come over to a fuel station, guys, right? This is the plan. Why do we park on 2? Because this is how you heal and fuel your car up double quick, right? The more fuel pads you land on, the quicker and the faster you will heal and refuel. Now, there is someone down there crossing out onto the sort of center there. Kind of hard to see him, but you know, it is what it is. We will actually have that. There we are. Alright, Cherub Tree will be going down there. We'll play to Cherub. Now, we have done a lot of shots out here, so I want to be mindful of the fact that, okay, do we have players who are coming for us? Yes, we do. Incredible. Shockwave, maybe? And, you know, that's just something you guys want to get into the practice of, right? Is trying to get used to the fact that, okay, a lot of players are going to be trying to, you know, come up behind you. They're going to be trying to chase you and try to take advantage of you. Now, he's got a car behind him now, so there's another player up there. I might just try and divert that fire. We've only got 367 bullets here. Now, do we continue to go for the car? We do have a couple of players here. I don't like this. We're on the outskirts of zone. I'm struggling to see them a little bit just with the change in the color of the sky. So, let's head on out. I would like a G-Wagon here. Whether we're going to be able to get one or not, you know, that's anyone's guess. But guys, as always, if you've enjoyed this episode so far, if you're keen to see us get that win, if you want to help us reach that goal of 5,000 subscribers by next year, make sure you guys do hit that like button and you hit that subscribe button. Alright, we'll come up and around here. We could probably try out the fuel station down there. There's some good opportunity over there for a G-Wagon, but there should also be another one down, I think it's right there next to the campfire. It looks like someone has taken it. Oh no, here it is. There's another one here. And sort of bearing in mind, okay, like where are these other cars, especially the G-Wagons? Where are they at? How can I get to them? And trying to plan your rotation around that is going to be, you know, really, really useful. Someone shoots at our car. What do, guys? We take it away. We do not want to have our mobility destroyed, let alone ruined like this, especially when there's not many fuel stations nearby. So the zone will be getting smaller. We're going to rotate around. I know the rough direction he was at. Right, so we're going to try and flank him here. I'm going to try and come up from behind whilst also fueling up our car. Now, on the way over here, we're also going to be trying to, you know, be quite mindful. Okay, are there any other cars? Can we find a backup car? Right, because if something does happen to this car, like as you can see, we've already got, you know, we've only got 3/4 of a health here, right, for it. So to avoid that 75 damage, we're going to be mindful about where are these other vehicles, their spawn locations. We'll check them out. I think there's some shockwaves maybe back there. Got a couple of players here. I might just go for the reload behind this car. I would like to... Alright, I think it's time for us to skedaddle, potentially. I would like to fuel up the car here, but I don't think it's going to be wise for us. In terms of DPS, it's only going to be 1 DPS, which, you know, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. We do need to heal up. So I'm going to wait. We've gotten out of the car. We're not exuding any of that noise pollution. Right, no one can hear us. I'm just going to wait for him to give up. We're going to do something risky here. 1 DPS still for this zone. We're going to try and go in. Now, there should be some slurp barrels as well and a campfire back into zone. But having a car, guys, is just so important that this is actually worth it, in my opinion. Okay, I was so glad. I was about to say, if that is landing right on top of us, I'm not going to be a huge fan of that. Alright, we're going to need a little bit of health here. Is there any slurp barrels nearby? Maybe not. There used to be. But of course, the season has changed. Or at the times, they do be changing. Taking 30 damage for this. Will it be worth it, guys? Will it be worth it? Got another car up there. Looks like it's been quite hardly and heavily hit there. Someone flying down above. I'm looking for medkits. I'm looking for medmiss. I'll even take fish at this stage. A Fury could go quite nice. I wouldn't say no to a Fury, especially for the close range potential there. But I'm just trying to find some cheeky little heals that might be laying around. Alright, all this campfire. Perfect. Alright, we're going to go for the campfire with the car parked behind. Incredible. Did he just jump off, or is he still behind it? Not even too sure where he went. Kind of crazy. Oh. Look at me, ye of little faith over here. I tell you, I definitely gave up a little bit too early there. I thought he might have ran behind this. Very, very risky play from him there. Oh. Dang. Fair enough, bro. Fair enough. That is the last call, of course. Some decent damage there, close range. You do not want to be missing any of your shots there. But yeah, guys, look, as always, if you did enjoy that episode, make sure you hit that like button. You hit that subscribe button, and as always, take care. Garnier.